This video will share some key information about individual education plans, more commonly known as IEPs. An IEP is an individualized document which describes what your child is learning alongside their peers in the school day. It is based on assessment identifying your child's strengths, interests, and needs. These changes are put in place to help your child achieve their personal best. The Individual Education Plan, or IEP, is to be developed by a team. Make sure the people who know your child best and those who will be working directly with your child are giving input on the Individual Education Plan. IEP teams include you, as well as your child, teachers, the principal, and other school staff or community agencies your child receives support from. While this team is an important part of the Individual Education Plan, or IEP, process, the IEP is written by your child's classroom teacher or teachers and the learning resource teacher. The principal of each school is responsible for ensuring that all Individual Education Plan, or IEPs, for students in their school are created, reviewed, and implemented. It is a document that can continually be discussed, reviewed, and revised throughout the school year as your child meets their learning goals or requires additional strategies to be successful. You know your child best. You have valuable information about your child's personality, development interests, and learning that can help to guide teachers in meeting their learning needs and closing learning gaps. Meeting face-to-face with your child's classroom teacher is a great way to make sure your child's Individual Education Plan, or IEP, reflects what your child needs. The Individual Education Plan, or IEP, can be changed throughout the year. If it's not possible to meet face-to-face, there are many other ways for the team to communicate. Take time to write a note or an email. Your involvement is important. There are many people at HWDSB who can assist you with questions you have about your child's Individual Education Plan, including the classroom teacher, the learning resource teacher, the principal, or, when necessary, staff from HWDSB's Specialized Services Department. When reviewing your child's Individual Education Plan, or IEP, it is important to look for the following. The reason my child has an Individual Education Plan, or IEP, is clear. The Individual Education Plan, or IEP, contains all relevant and current assessment and medical data, some of which I may have provided. Any health needs my child has are listed under Health Support Services. Any special equipment my child requires, as determined by a qualified professional or regulated healthcare professional, such as occupational therapist or physiotherapist, has been discussed and noted in the Individual Education Plan, or IEP. Subjects, courses, skill areas to which the Individual Education Plan, or IEP, applies are listed. There is a transition plan in place to help my child through the challenges of change. The Human Resources section shows the people supporting my child's learning in addition to the classroom teacher or teachers. My child's preferred learning styles and how they react to certain situations have been taken into account. There is a clear link between my child's Individual Education Plan, or IEP, and report cards. Any non-academic goals relevant to my child's success are listed. Accommodations or modifications are specific and appropriate for my child. My child's strengths, interests, and needs in terms of how they learn best are incorporated in any accommodations or modifications. I have shared with my school the changes in my child over the summer, example, new talents, skills, and interests, and they are reflected in the accommodations or modifications. Methods that are working well at home in therapy have been taken into consideration. Annual program goals for my child are observable, measurable, and obtainable. These goals reflect various areas. The Individual Education Plan, or IEP, reflects input from my child's teacher or teachers and any other appropriate professionals. My feedback on the Individual Education Plan, or IEP, is documented in the consultation log section of the IEP. The Individual Education Plan or IEP is written in language I understand. I feel comfortable asking the principal and teachers for clarification if needed. The principal has signed the Individual Education Plan or IEP, signifying his or her responsibility for its content, implementation, and review. I have completed the parent comment form and returned it to the school. Your child's Individual Education Plan or IEP may contain accommodations, accommodations and modifications, accommodations, modifications, and/or alternative expectations. An accommodation is a change in the way a program or course is delivered to your child at his or her current grade level. Accommodations can be the instructional, environmental, or assessment strategies that are needed to help your child get all the information and material offered by the teacher. Instructional accommodations may include graphic organizers or use of text-to-speech software. Environmental accommodations may include strategic seating, quiet setting. Assessment accommodations may include extended time limits during an assessment. Examples of accommodations include duplicated notes, assistive technology such as text-to-speech, graphic organizers, visual cueing, repetition of information, use of visuals, extra time for processing, chunking of information. Alternative workspace, strategic seating, proximity to the instructor, quiet setting, reduction in audio-visual stimuli, extended time limits, verbatim scribing, oral responses, frequent breaks, prompts to return students' attention to task, extra time for processing. While accommodations change how your child is learning, modifications change what your child is taught or expected to learn. A program that includes accommodations that support how your child learns should be tried prior to moving your child onto a modified program. A modification is a change to the current provincial grade level curriculum expectations. Modifications alter the grade level expectations for your child. Modifications may focus on only some of the grade level curriculum expectations for a subject or course, or may lower the grade level expectations so the student is working on curriculum different from their grade level. An example would be a grade 7 student who is focusing on only one language goal in the grade 7 curriculum, or a grade 4 student working on the grade 1 curriculum expectations in math. There are also alternative expectations when there are skills to learn that are not represented in the provincial curriculum. Alternative expectations are based on the learning requirements of your child. An example of an alternative expectation would be learning orientation and mobility skills. There are many documents on the Ontario Ministry of Education's website that can give you more information on the cooperative approach that should be used. The Ontario Ministry of Education IEPs Standard for Development, Program Planning and Implementation. Special Education in Ontario, Kindergarten to Grade 12, and Shared Solutions documents. Like you, HWDSB wants what is best for your child, and to help them learn, and to be successful.